Howdy guys, I realise I'm a little bit late to the party with this one, but this is the first time I've had a chance to try one of the Silver Sky guitars. And I gotta say I'm actually really impressed. It's a phenomenal feeling instrument and a great sounding one as well. Now, I will say that I'm absolutely not a Strat guy. Many years ago when I was into Stevie Ray, when I first started playing, I had Strats, but since then I've kind of gone more towards the Gibson type sound. Playing mainly slide guitar. In fact, I do that in nearly every single video, and that's sort of the thing that I'm best at doing. I can't do that on this guitar. It's set too low, the strings are too thin. The other thing is, this belongs to a mate of mine, and he's got the bridge flat down to the face of the guitar, so I can't even do my Jeff Beck impression because I can't pull up on the damn bridge. So all in all, I found this somewhat limiting to play, but that's entirely subjective, and it's just my own player preference. Anyway, I've got a couple of isolated examples I'm going to play you, and then I've got some thoughts. So my thought is really, are they all this good? Because this is an exceptional guitar. I don't know whether it's maybe just the pick of the bunch. I'd have to try a few to find out. But if they are all this good, that's going to be a real problem for Fender. You know, a lot was made of this when it first came out because it's one major manufacturer kind of ripping off another one. And it was frowned upon. A lot was made of having this headstock on what is very obviously a Strat-style body. But there have been boutique manufacturers kind of ripping off the Fender design for years, and there's a lot of cheap Chinese import things that have done that. The difference being is that they operate in different sections of the market. The cheap Chinese stuff is obviously of an inferior quality and is very, very cheap. And then the boutique stuff is kind of like $2,000 to $4,000, and I'm talking things like Sir, Exotic, Kiesel. But that's a very small section of the market. There's only a limited number of people that can afford those instruments. This is obviously utilizing the PRS economy of scale. They're a huge company, and they've been able to produce an instrument that has a real quality feel and a great sound right down to a price point. It's maybe a snip more expensive than your kind of Mex Fender, but it would be direct competition for sure. So how do Fender address that? That's going to be quite tricky. Fender is sort of smited by the same problem, I think, that affects Gibson, in that they have to produce roughly the same spec guitar year on year. The problem with that is, how do you get people to buy a new instrument because you just gave them the exact same thing as they had last year, so you could just go out and buy a used instrument and have the same thing. With this cutting into it as well, I would think that's going to affect them. It's going to slice into their share of the market on what is their design, which I would imagine is probably going to hurt. Anyway, thanks to Chris for lending me this guitar. It's an absolute cracking instrument. It's not the color it appears on the screen, by the way. I can see on my extension screen down here, it's coming up red with the LUT on it. It's actually kind of a pinky purple, so I'll stick a picture on the screen without that so that you can see what it actually looks like. Yeah, great guitar. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Later.